Welcome to Legacy Coins USA, and today we take a close professional look at the 2002 Tennessee State Quarter and Kisatchie 2015 Louisiana and Cumberland Gap 2016 and 2022 Maya Angelou P. Curter Dollar. Certified collectible from the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. This video-ready overview covers its history, design, production, and its place among collectors without exaggeration. Whether you're just learning about coins or you're building a serious collection, this information will be useful and accurate, and stay up for channel watch full video and don't like and subscribe. Let's play. The history of the Tennessee Quarter begins with the United States Mint State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 through 2008. This initiative was created to celebrate each of the 50 states in the order they ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union. Tennessee, the 16th state, was honored in 2002, and its quarter was released into general circulation as a regular U.S. quarter dollar. These coins were intended for everyday use as well as to engage the public with American history and culture. On the obverse front of the Tennessee Quarter, you will see the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This portrait has appeared on U.S. quarters since 1932, and on the State Quarters version it is accompanied by standard inscriptions such as United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination quarter dollar. The mint mark P indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The phrase E pluribus unum also appears, reflecting the traditional motto of the United States meaning out of many, one. The reverse, back, design of the Tennessee Quarter is where the state's identity is brought to life. It features three musical instruments, a guitar, a banjo, and a mandolin, sitting in front of a single long stem of trumpet flowers. These instruments symbolize Tennessee's rich musical heritage, including the influence of blues, country, rock and roll, and jazz traditions centered in cities such as Nashville and Memphis. The inscriptions include Tennessee, 1796, the year Tennessee was admitted to the Union, and musical heritage. In terms of production and availability, the Tennessee Quarter was minted in very large numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation in 2002. Because of this, the typical business strike Tennessee Quarters are not rare in everyday grades. You will find many in pocket change, coin rolls, and general collections. They were also made in proof versions for collectors, which were sold in U.S. mint sets and have a mirror-like finish. When assessing collector interest, most standard circulated Tennessee Quarters hold modest value above face only if they are in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. Collectors look for high grades, such as MS-65 or above, and coins with original luster and minimal wear. Proof examples and coins certified at high grades by third-party grading services, like PCGS or NGC, are more sought after and command higher prices. Specialized varieties such as die errors or striking anomalies can also attract interest, but these are specific cases rather than common for this issue. Discussing rarity, it's important to understand that circulation strikes are abundant. The key factors that might make an individual example more desirable are condition and eye appeal rather than scarcity. Proof coins, often marked with a S mint mark and sold in annual proof sets, tend to be more desirable to dedicated state quarter collectors because of their finish and presentation. In summary, the 2002 Tennessee State Quarter is a well-designed, historically meaningful coin that represents a distinctive element of American culture. While most examples are common and trade near face value when worn, high-grade and special specimens remain relevant to collectors. Whether you are showcasing this coin on Legacy Coins USA or adding it to your album, understanding its context and qualities makes it a worthy piece of the broader U.S. State Quarter narrative. Next, the America the Beautiful Quarters program was authorized by Congress and ran from 2010 to 2021. Its purpose was to honor national parks and other significant natural and historic sites in each state, territory, and the District of Columbia. The 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter was the 27th release in the series and commemorates Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, the state's only national forest and a large area of culturally and ecologically important public land. The name Kisatchie itself comes from the Kichai Native American people, reflecting the deep historical roots of the region. Like all modern U.S. quarters, the obverse front of the Kisatchie Quarter features George Washington's portrait, first introduced in 1932. The inscriptions on this side read, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and quarter dollar. The mint mark P for Philadelphia appears here if your coin was struck at that facility. The motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is part of the reverse design and has been a long-standing element of U.S. coinage. The reverse, tails, design of this quarter depicts a wild turkey in flight over grass and pine trees, capturing an element of the wildlife and forest habitat within Kisatchie National Forest. The inscriptions around the design include Kisatchie, Louisiana, 2015, and E pluribus unum. That imagery was selected through a review process that considered several candidate designs and ultimately chose this depiction to reflect the natural beauty and ecological importance of the forest. In terms of production and circulation, the Kisatchie quarter was struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced the bulk of the circulating coins in copper-nickel-clad composition, copper-nickel alloy, each in the hundreds of millions. A smaller number were struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark for collectors, including both clad-proof and silver-proof versions intended for annual proof sets. When we assess rarity and value, it's important to be realistic. Typical circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver, including your standard P example, are common and generally trade near face value unless they are in exceptionally high uncirculated condition. Uncirculated business strikes in mint state grades, for example, MS65, may be worth modest premiums over face, but they are far from rare given the large mintages. Collector interest tends to focus on condition and type rather than the basic issue. Many collectors seek out complete sets of the America the Beautiful series and therefore value uncirculated examples, specimen coins from mint rolls, and especially proof coins from San Francisco. Proof versions, particularly those struck in 90% silver, carry higher premiums because of their finish, lower production numbers, and inclusion in specialized proof sets. Occasionally, specific die varieties or errors, such as doubling or planchet irregularities, can attract attention from specialists, but these are not typical for most examples. Their value depends heavily on the nature and visibility of the error, as well as market demand among error collectors. In summary, the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter is a solid representative of the America the Beautiful series. As a circulation strike, it remains plentiful and carries nominal value beyond its 25-cent face. In higher grades or as part of uncirculated or proof sets, it has a place in a well-rounded collection. Its design celebrates Louisiana's natural heritage, and its production reflects the broad, ongoing efforts by the United States Mint to connect everyday coinage with American places of significance. Next one. The 2016 Cumberland Gap National Historical Park Quarter, a United States quarter dollar struck for circulation and collectors, featuring the inscription, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, quarter dollar, and the reverse motto, E pluribus unum. This coin honors a site known as the First Doorway to the West, in Kentucky, and is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Here's what you need to know in clear, accurate terms. The America the Beautiful Quarters program ran from 2010 through 2021 and was authorized by Congress to showcase national parks and historic sites across the United States and its territories. Each year, the U.S. Mint released up to 5 different quarter designs with distinct reverse imagery tied to those locations. The 2016 Cumberland Gap Quarter is the 32nd issue in this series and celebrates the natural and historical significance of Cumberland Gap National Historical Park. On the obverse, heads, of the coin is the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally modeled by sculptor John Flanagan for the 1932 Washington Quarter. This depiction has been revised slightly over time, but remains consistent across the America the Beautiful series. Surrounding this portrait are the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and quarter dollar. The mint mark, such as a P for Philadelphia, appears on this side and indicates where the coin was produced. The reverse, tails, design, the main theme of this issue, depicts a frontiersman standing at the Cumberland Gap, gazing across the Appalachian ridges to the western frontier. The image conveys the role of Cumberland Gap as a key passage through the mountains for early settlers and pioneers moving westward in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Inscriptions on this side include Cumberland Gap, First Doorway to the West, Kentucky, 2016, and E pluribus unum. This artwork was created by an artist in the U.S. Mint Artistic Infusion Program and sculpted by the Mint's chief engraver. The historical context behind the design reflects the importance of Cumberland Gap as a natural pass in the Appalachian Mountains. Long before modern roads, this gap provided the most accessible route into Kentucky and beyond. It was a critical corridor for hundreds of thousands of settlers and traders expanding into the western frontier. This historical legacy gives the coin its thematic significance and educational value. In terms of production and availability, the standard circulation strikes of the Cumberland Gap Quarter were produced in large quantities by the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints. According to reported figures, Philadelphia struck over 215 million pieces, while Denver produced over 223 million coins for general circulation. An S-Mint mark proof version was also produced at the San Francisco Mint for collectors, but in much smaller numbers. When assessing rarity and market value, it's important to be realistic. Typical circulation strikes, including those with a P mint mark, are common and most trade close to face value, 25 cents, even in uncirculated condition. Well-preserved examples graded at higher mint state levels, e.g., MS65 and up, may command modest premiums among collectors, but they are generally not rare in the broader numismatic market. Collector interest in this quarter is generally tied to its place in the America the Beautiful series rather than any intrinsic scarcity. Many collectors aim to complete the entire series or to obtain high-quality examples of each issue. Proof versions and coins in original mint packaging often carry more appeal to specialists because they show original finish and strike detail. Occasionally, well-documented die varieties or minor errors can attract additional interest, but these are specific cases and not typical for standard circulation examples. In summary, the 2016 Cumberland Gap National Historical Park Quarter is a well-documented and historically themed issue from the America the Beautiful Quarters program. It honors a pivotal passage in early American expansion and features a thoughtful reverse design alongside the enduring portrait of Washington on the obverse. For most collectors, this coin is a standard but meaningful part of a full series collection, with value tied more to condition and completion goals than inherent rarity. Last coin. The American Women Quarters program was established by public law and ran from 2022 through 2025 to honor the accomplishments of prominent American women on circulating quarters. The Maya Angelou Quarter was the first release in this series, launched into circulation in 2022. It recognizes Maya Angelou, an influential writer, poet, performer, and civil rights activist, most famous for her autobiography I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and for reading her poem On the Pulse of Morning at President Bill Clinton's 1993 inauguration. On the obverse, heads, of the coin is the portrait of George Washington designed by Laura Garden Fraser, a sculptor whose work was originally proposed for the 1932 quarter but only used decades later in this series. Surrounding Washington's portrait are the inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year, 2022. The mint mark, such as P for Philadelphia, also appears on this side, indicating the facility where the coin was struck. The reverse, tails, design, the thematic focus of the coin, features Maya Angelou with her arms uplifted, a bird in flight, and a rising sun in the background. These elements were inspired by her poetry and reflect themes of freedom, resilience, and hope. Inscriptions on the reverse include United States of America, Maya Angelou, E Pluribus Unum, and $quarter. The reverse was designed under the U.S. Mint's Artistic Infusion program by Emily Damstraw and sculpted by Craig A. Campbell. In terms of production, the 2022 Maya Angelou Quarter was struck in large numbers. The Philadelphia Mint, P, produced approximately 237.6 million coins and the Denver Mint, D, approximately 258.2 million coins for general circulation. A smaller quantity was also struck at the San Francisco Mint, S, with about 303,520 pieces released in collector sets. All standard circulation strikes are made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. When assessing rarity and value, it's important to distinguish between common circulation strikes and special collector pieces. Most Maya Angelou quarters you encounter in everyday change are common and trade at or near face value, 25 cents. Even uncirculated examples from circulation strikes generally command only modest premiums in high mint state grades. Typical market values for a 2022 P quarter in uncirculated condition are around 30 cents to $2.50 depending on grade, and similar modest figures apply to Denver strikes. Proof coins or specially graded examples may be more desirable but remain affordable compared with older rare issues. Collector interest in this coin stems primarily from its place as the first issue in the American Women Quarters program and for its thematic representation of Angelou's legacy. Many collectors seek to complete the full series of 20 designs planned over 4 years, and thus the 2022 quarter holds a natural place in those sets. Collector demand tends to focus on high-grade certified examples, proof strikes, or coins preserved in original U.S. mint packaging. Occasionally, individual Maya Angelou quarters with well-documented mint errors or die varieties attract specialized interest. For example, unique striking anomalies such as die gouges or minor doubling can appeal to error collectors, but these are specific and rare cases rather than representative of typical strikes. Any error coin's value depends on scarcity, visual impact, and certification by a reputable grading service. In summary, the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter is a modern U.S. quarter that combines artistic design with cultural significance. It is widely available in circulation but carries modest hobby value for collectors, particularly in higher grades or as part of complete series sets. Its design honors an important figure in American literature and civil rights history, and it marks the start of a new chapter in U.S. quarter design. Thanks for watching.